this is Travis from Third Gear Speed Shop, and I thought I would just throw my hat in the ring with the origins of the hobby and just give you guys an idea of how I got started. Much like you guys, I got started probably when I was about second or third grade. I was sick and I wasn't able to I was out of commission for a while, had the flu or something, and my parents got me a model kit because I was bored. And so I remember it was a snap tight monogram kit. It was either El Camino or I remember the El Camino and the 55 Chevy, but I remember building those kits. And my dad helped me. He was a big help. He was always building things. We had a 66 Fairlane, and he rebuilt the motor in that. And I would go down in the shop when he was working on it and watch what he was doing and stuff. So I sort of grew up around cars and building stuff. And we were a big NASCAR family, and we went to a lot of the NASCAR races, both the big NASCAR races and the local dirt tracks and asphalt. And my dad was a big NASCAR fan, and so was I. So when I started building glue kits, probably in 5th or 6th grade, or around 4th grade, I guess, I'd paint the numbers on them and everything, and try to scratch build my own roll cages and stuff like that. And that Testor's glue didn't hold up very well, so they kind of fell apart. But my dad would help me tape off areas and do two-tone paint jobs, and teach me how to hold the rattle can and stuff like that. So he was a big help, and he built some models with me. We built some P3A. He was in the Navy, so we found a airplane that he had worked on. It was a P3A Orion, and we built that together. And we built different a lot of NASCAR kits. When the NASCAR kits came out with the decals, that was big time, and I ate those up. I love those. But middle school, high school, I got rid of all my toys, all my Hot Wheels, G.I. Joe, model kits, everything. I sold them off in a yard sale, and didn't have any use for toys. And it wasn't until college. I went to art school in Baltimore, and in my senior year of college, there was a art show, and it's this show right here, Custom Culture. It was a traveling art exhibit that was the work of Von Dutch, Ed Roth, and Robert Williams. And it was in the gallery at the art school, and it was like the one-to-one version of Ed Roth's Outlaw, Ed Roth's Tweety Pie, the refrigerator door where Ed Roth had painted Rat Fink, Von Dutch pinstriping. And Robert Williams' paintings were just mind-blowing. So this show right here, really snapped me back into it. As an adult or a young adult, seeing all the Ed Roth models in the context of art in a gallery, and and all those childhood things that I recalled in a art setting, a gallery setting, displayed as high art, was huge. And it was something that really elevated my understanding of automotive art, as well as modeling. And the whole scene, the whole custom culture thing was huge, and it just resonated with me big time. And so I started buying surf records and rockabilly records, and just got into the whole custom culture thing. This was around 95. And I remember going into a slot car racing track, and there was the Hot Wheels that were reissued in 95, 25th anniversary. It had the I think it was the 25th anniversary, but anyway, it had the old 60s packaging and everything. And man, I bought up a bunch of those, and all the Ed Roth kits were reissued around the 90s too. And so I just sucked up all of that culture, surf rock, rockabilly, um, all the Ed Roth stuff. I just collected it. And I built a few kits. I built the Beatnik Bandit, but I was mainly just collecting things because I was just absorbing that culture. Um, and around 95, 96, I started building. And mostly reissued kits, dragsters and Ed Roth stuff and hot rods and stuff. And I had moved to Atlanta by this point. I moved from Baltimore to Atlanta, and around 2000, I think it was, I was in Atlanta at a hobby shop, and I was just shopping in the hobby store, and a group of guys were meeting in the meeting room in the back, and so I wandered over there and kind of observed them, and introduced myself, and I ended up joining the Acme Club, and that was another chapter. That brought more of a social aspect to it, and I met some good friends, and through that club, and just helping put on the first few Acme shows. I think they'd had a couple Acme shows before I joined the club, but I got involved. I was writing articles for the newsletter. I think I even held some sort of office in the club for a while. But just getting to know those guys, and the wealth of knowledge in that club is enormous. I mean, Bob Downey, I learned a lot of painting techniques from him. However, I don't have an airbrush. I don't have a way to practice that knowledge, but I have his book, and it's just that era was just introduced me to the whole social aspect of modeling and trading with trading ideas, trading kits, trading how-to tips and stuff. So anyway, we moved from Atlanta here to Asheville in 2003, and bought a house, and I'd kept all my models packed away, and so there was a lot of work that needed to be done to the house, so I didn't really do anything regarding modeling until the house was in a in a place where I could do that. And then we had kids. We had twins in 2007, so again, big life event, and so I didn't have any time to do anything. But it was a couple years ago that my friend invited me to a hot rod vintage drag racing and swap meet, and that's the first time I saw the Southeastern Gassers, and they ran Union Dragway, and that was similar to the custom culture. That that whole culture I'd been out of for a long time, and the amount of cool cars was just mind blowing. And they had rockabilly bands at night and pinup contests. That whole rockabilly car custom culture was alive and thriving there, and I just ate it up. I loved it. There were some vendors there, and there was a guy selling some old magazines, hot rod magazines, hop up magazines, Rod and Custom, and he had some model kits as well as Hot Wheels too. Ended up buying a kit and bringing it home. My son was with me, and so I think when my son realized that it didn't really go together in just a matter of a day, that you know, he kind of lost interest. But that really sparked my interest, and I started digging out all my old kits. And as you can see behind me, started stacking them up and started building again. And that event, that vintage drag racing event, really just popped me back into it. And you know, from there, I just started looking on YouTube, like a lot of you guys have already mentioned, you know. And the one YouTuber that I think a lot of people also have mentioned is Dr. Cranky, and he was the guy that started watching a lot and watching a lot of his videos. And he just has this sort of Ed Roth vibe about him, and you can tell he has a lot of fun both modeling and making his videos. And I really really connected with that, and so I watched a bunch of Dr. Cranky videos, and from there just sort of, you know, started subscribing to a bunch of you guys. And you know, after watching a lot of his Dr. Cranky videos and several more of you guys, I thought I would give it a shot and you know, contribute to the YouTube community. So in a way, you know, YouTube, there isn't a model club here in Asheville. The closest one is in Spartanburg. So in a way, YouTube has sort of become my, you know, club, because it's a global community, and you know, people from all over the world watch these videos and comment and subscribe, and it's really cool. It's very cool to see that global community, and I'm just happy to be a part of it. So that's my story. You know, it's similar to you guys, but there's a few key moments that just really resonated with me and getting me involved in all this. So and I'm sure there's going to be plenty more. So I've had a lot of fun watching you guys and listening to your stories, and I hope you have enjoyed mine. So again, thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting, liking, subscribing, all of that. It's been real fun, and I can't wait to make more videos and keep modeling. So happy modeling, guys, and thanks for watching.